Hi everyone, and welcome to the 2022 to 2023 season preview. In this video I'm going to explain a bit about what's to come for the channel this coming season, what my aims are and so on. So without further ado, let's get into this. So, when and where do I start? Well, all gets underway again this Saturday, and what a cracking way to kick off the new campaign it is. I'm flying straight out of the traps with an opening day double-header. At midday, my 2022 to 2023 season will begin in Derbyshire as I head to Ilkeston Town for their game against Carlton Town, so I'm sticking with my tradition of an opening day new tick, but no time to hang around though. At full time, I need to head up the M1 to Armthorpe Welfare v Doncaster Rovers, which will incidentally be another new tick. And double football days are going to be something of a theme in July, as on Saturday the 9th of July I head to Berwick Rangers v South Shields in the afternoon, followed by the quarter-final at the Stanks for the Berwick Charities Cup in the evening. The 16th and the 23rd of July are going to be taken up by Gateshead friendlies, but Saturday the 30th could possibly result in a third double header of the month, as Gateshead will be playing on the Friday night this weekend. But the public transport timetables mean I could potentially do Whitby Town against Darlington in a friendly at 12:30, then Middlesbrough v West Bromwich Albion in the Championship at 5:30. Alternatively, if Newcastle United against Athletic Bilbao is an early kick-off, I could go to that, then either Heaton Stanington v West Auckland Town or Jar FC v Washington at 3. What I do know is I'll definitely be going to a competitive game that day, whether it's doubled up with a friendly or not, with the EFL, the SPFL and the Northern League getting underway that day. Remains to be seen, but there definitely will be some competitive action that day. As always, there'll be plenty of evening action in the opening weeks of the season, in fact 3 in the first week alone. Due to the ongoing pitch renovations at the International Stadium, Gateshead aren't allowed to play any home friendlies until Friday the 29th of July, but 4 away trips for us in the meantime to Dunstan UTS, Spennymoor Town, Hebburn Town and League 2 side Harrogate Town respectively for us to enjoy. But it'll be great to be back home on the 29th of July, whoever it may be against, and be able to collect my season ticket. And speaking of which, as I mentioned at the end of last season, it won't be a 100% attendance record in all competitions again. I'll actually miss the first 4 games of the new league season as I'm in Florida, but all's not lost, as I can go to Orlando City against New England Revolution while I'm out there. But come Saturday the 20th of August, I'll be back watching the Heed again with the aim of getting to a minimum of 75% of the league games, which is 34.5 games. Now, obviously, I'm not going to leave a game at half time and just go in for the second half, so I'll say 35 of the 46 games is the target. I'll get to all home games that aren't affected by Florida, so basically 21 out of the 23 home games. As for away games, though, due to a change of personal life circumstances, it will be a case of picking and choosing those 14 games. Sadly, long trips in midweek to the opposite end of the country look to be a thing of the past. But there's some tremendous away days for us, and ones I'd very much like to go to. The fixtures are out next week, and once they are, I'll have more of an in-depth discussion about my plan for Gateshead this season. What I do know is that I would like to get 100% attendance in the FA competitions. I mean, for all we know, that could just be 2 games if we have immediate exits from both. I mean, I certainly hope that's not the case. I want us to do well in them this year, but we'll just have to see when the time comes. Away from Gateshead, though, there is, of course, another club I'm pretty fond of, and that is Motherwell. I was somewhat disappointed only getting to 1 game last season, but I'm determined to put that right this year, and what better place to start than the small matter of the UEFA Europa Conference League. Yes, on Thursday the 21st of July, I'll be at Fir Park for the first leg of the tie against either Barla Town or Sligo Rovers. Whether I can go to the second leg or not depends on the logistics of it all, and if I can get a ticket. I mean, playing Barla would probably be easier to do logistically, but I reckon Sligo probably has a better chance of getting a ticket unless they switch the Barla tie to Wrexham instead of the New Saints. But I am aiming to do a minimum of 3 well games this season, including that first leg, one of which is already confirmed with Livingston visiting Fir Park on Easter Saturday. Like, obviously, as is tradition on Easter weekend, Gateshead should be playing on Good Friday and Easter Monday, which means the Saturday will be freed up. After that, I'll just have to see if anything comes up beforehand or what the post-split fixtures bring. But remember, 3 is just a minimum number. Like, there is still scope for hopefully a few more. So what about all the ground hopping and games as a neutral? Well, as I mentioned earlier, there are changes ahead to my personal life, but that could potentially open a door to a few more grounds being ticked off. In the first 2 years of the channel, I have been very North Yorkshire and North East heavy with my videos so far, especially the midweek ones, particularly in the Northern League, but now could be the time for other areas and leagues to show what they're about. I must admit, it will be nice to see more places and visit new grounds. One ever so slight gripe I had with last season is lack of new ticks, but all being well, that won't be such an issue this time around, with places in South, East and West Yorkshire all potentially accessible for me in midweek, as well as Greater Manchester and possibly some parts of Lancashire as well. Of course, the Northern League will need recompleting, with Chesterley Street United joining and Washington moving to a new ground. So I'll get those done easily enough, I'd say. Hoping as well to broaden out a bit more and get some more EFL action onto the channel, with the aim of seeing at least one game at every level of English football between the Premier League and non-league Step 6, which is of course the 10th tier of English football. As well, this year some leagues have shaped up excellently, so there'll be some great games that I could potentially go to as the neutral. You look at leagues such as the Northern Premier League, Premier Division, the National League North, etc. It's all shaped up pretty well. As I alluded to earlier in the video, being in Florida at the start of August enables me to attend Orlando City versus New England Revolution. I'll actually be starting the recording of that video the day before I fly out there, which is a full 6 days before the game itself. I'll be showing you glimpses of what I get up to in Florida in the days leading up to the game before we delve into the world of the MLS. The football side of it will be essentially the same as a video I'd make for a game back in the UK, but it's safe to say the MLS takes a lot of flack from English fans. I want to give as honest a review as possible of my overall experience out there. I think if I think there are parts of it that I do find a bit cringy, I'll say so, but from past experience before I had my channel, I know the MLS has a lot to offer, and I certainly want to shine a light on that. As was last season, I will once again be an end of season European trip. Where this is to and when it will be is not set in stone yet, but Germany on the last weekend in May currently leads the way, with Eintracht Frankfurt versus SC Freiburg on a Saturday and FC Kaiserslautern versus Fortuna Dusseldorf on a Sunday being the current front runner. It's extremely tempting, as it's 2 grounds I've been wanting to visit for quite some time, but it'd be foolish not to keep my options open. Plenty of grounds on my radar in places such as the Netherlands, Italy, France, Portugal and Spain. It's certainly not a decision that needs to be rushed into. Essentially got a full season to get through before then, but the European trip is something I always look forward to. It's never disappointed me, so hopefully once again it will be well worth the wait. Lastly, what are the changes to the structure of the videos? Well, the general format will remain the same, with some tweaks, the first of which being I will be adding a bit more. There will be a few more additions to music for the travel montages. I know for a lot of you the travel montage is one of your favourite parts of the video, and I'll be including for every video now, even if the game I'm going to is close enough to walk. So I personally feel that your journey to a game is one of the most major parts of the matchday experience. Secondly, I want to talk more about new ticks I have in depth, so give my first impressions when I go in and so on. As well as this, might on the occasional video do a bit of a food review, and obviously it won't be every video, but as I said in one of the award videos I did after the end of last season. It wouldn't be football, it wouldn't be ground hopping without trying the food. So so what I could potentially do as well is sort of maybe do a bit of a league table for it as I go along, and we'll see at the end where my favourite bit of food was. It's going to be extremely difficult to emulate last season. It really was the best ever, but I see absolutely no reason at all why this one can't be memorable too. So I'm going to once again do my best with every video I make. Some will turn out better than the others, but overall I do hope that you enjoy the content. And on that note, that is that for this video, and I'll of course be back on Saturday with that Ilkeston Town v Carlton Town and Armthorpe Welfare v Doncaster Rovers doubleheader to get the 2022 to 2023 season underway. So until then, take care, and I will see you later.